So there was this guy, let's say his name is Bolu Atve. His name is Bolu, and a spiritual guy. Yeah, for him to have said God said. Well, not everybody that says God said is spiritual, but then he's a spiritual guy. We were friends. Actually, not deep friends, but then we were friends. We knew each other. We used to talk. We used to say hi, and then we were attending the same church. And then all of a sudden, I started to notice things. You know, as a girl, you can easily just notice when something is happening. But then I like to say that if a guy does not tell you he likes you, please don't conclude that he likes you. Until a guy says he likes you, he does not like you. So as much as you're seeing things, or you're feeling things, or you're hearing things, if he has not said he likes you, he does not like you. I beg, just to, just to be guided, to take care of yourself. So anyway, I started to notice things, and I'm like, something wanna happen. And then he approached me. But before we move into that, let me welcome you guys into this video now. So hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa Oni, just in case you do not know, aka Ifeoluwa the YouTuber, aka Abaza Bold. You know what's up. And you're welcome to my channel. If you are seeing my face for the first time, or you're checking out my channel for the first time, you are very much welcome. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. God bless you. And to my returning subscribers, Ifeoluwa the loyal gang, thank you for always coming back again. I do not take you for granted. I really appreciate you. I love you so much. Okay, so to the new people, please do how to subscribe. If you are new, if you are not new and you have not subscribed, please I beg subscribe. Thank you. If you end up enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to, I beg, give it a thumbs up. Leave comments in the comment section. Share. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Let's jump right in. Okay, so to continue my story, he approached me and he said, if it is out to see you. And I'm like, oh sure, I'm here. And then he's like, okay, so I've been praying about something. God says that you are the one for me. And I'm like, some of my gestures will not be the same. But then I'm like, oh really? God said, okay, I have to pray about it. At least if God has told you, He will tell me to now. It's not something that should be one-sided, right? And so I said, okay, I'll pray about it and I'll get back to you. And he's like, okay. And then here I go back, I pray about it. I pray. I have Arafat, don't laugh at me. I prayed about it and I didn't get anything. Nothing. And I'm like, what's going on? Why am I not hearing anything? Is it me? God is not saying anything. It's me that is not hearing anything. I just went back to him and I told him, I did not hear anything. And after I said that, he was like, no, that God really said, that it's very serious, that God told him, not once, not twice, God told him that I'm the one. I'm like, boy, if God has told you, you should tell me too now. He was like, that way before God to have told him like 2-3 times that it means that there is no need for God to tell me too. Okay, let's not lie, he's a fine boy, right? And spiritual, and he has money. So all those things were there into my eyes, but then the usual, we have to hear from God too now. So let's go back and hear from God. Me too, I wanted to form that one. So sorry, someone just passed. So after he said, hey, for God to have said it thrice, then it means that maybe you do not need to hear from God yourself. Maybe he has spoken. He has spoken the 2 times that both of us are supposed to hear. I'm like, okay, give me time to think about it. And then I went back, and then I'm just like, and then I go about asking people that, what do you think? And everyone's like, correct guy. He's asking you out, and he said that God said that it's spiritual again. What's your problem now? What's your problem? And I'm just like, okay, maybe it's actually me that is not hearing from God. Where is me that is not hearing from God? Maybe I should just say yes. And then along the way, since he's spiritually mature than I am, along the way, he'll build me. I'll build, and then I'll be able to hear clearly and know if I'm the one that did not hear at that point in time. Breaking transmission. Okay, so I said yes. And after I said yes, the things started going well. Like I said, we're not different, so we began to know each other deeply. And then After a while, things started to go sour. And it was like back to back, too much. Every time, kitty come, something's always happening. We're always having issues, and I'm like, what is happening? What's all this? What's going on? And then I go back, and then I'm just praying about it. So what's going on? Why is everything happening? And I just feel like a certain this trouble in my soul. It's about peace. And then I go, now finally I decide to go and meet my mentor. I don't know why I'm doing like this. I decided to go and meet my mentor, right? And then I talk, and I'm like, so and so, this is what's going on. And I'm like, wow, you were in a relationship. Wow. When? From where to where? How did it happen? And I'm like, okay, yes, I'm sorry. I know I did not say anything and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just because I don't know. I spoke to other people and I don't know. I just don't want to come and tell you. Maybe because of the circumstances. Why? Because I'm not here. I was not convinced myself. Okay, and then she says, why didn't you wait to be convinced yourself before going to a relationship? Relationship is not a one person thing. It's not a one party thing. It should be the two. Both of you should hear from God together. Both of you should be convinced together about a relationship, because it's not a one-sided thing, right? So this should happen to both of you. You really need to go and hear God for yourself. You really need to know the next step you're going to take. I'm not going to be the one to tell you, because I'm not the one in your shoes. You are the one. It's between you and God. So I'm like, okay. Last the relationship ended because it was not supposed to be. Okay. I know that you're already enjoying my story. I like to tell stories because I feel like it gets people more. People get to like, how will I put it now? Maybe if you have been in that situation, or if you heard something like that, you get to relate with the story more than when I just come and I'm just talking. So basically, disclaimer: this story is not my own. I don't know the owner of the story. I'm just a storyteller. I'm just a story person. Okay, actually, to be quite frank, a little part of it is from my own relationship story. I actually decided to I didn't want it to be all just 100% on my own, so I actually inserted part of my own relationship story into this particular story. It's left to you to find out which one is my story and which one is the fake story. You can try it out. Guess in the comment section. Don't worry, if you are right, I'll actually tell you. Because one day I should actually tell my relationship stories. I've made mistakes, you guys. I've made mistakes, not even one mistake. I've made mistakes in the past, and I'm not going to come and be like, I've not made a mistake, I'm a relationship saint. I've made mistakes. So anyhow, it's left to you to figure out which one is my own. So basically, why am I doing this video? It's because I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of God told him I am the one, but me, I did not hear. Should I go for it or should I not? And there was even a time where we ministered in drama. I'm a drama minister, by the way. We ministered in drama in my church. And I don't know, I happened to be the character. God, I don't want to go into a relationship but I did not hear. But maybe because, let's continue. I happened to be the character. The guy was a prayer called, and he told the lady that God said. And the lady's like, prayer code. He has prayed for the two of us already now. What am I doing? He has prayed for the two of us just for me to say yes. So basically that was the story. So I just decided to create like a story that would actually bring people into this more. So basically, there are a few things I want to say. There are a few points I want to bring out. And number one is, at every point in time, you should always hear God for yourself. You should always hear God for yourself. Don't let people speak for you, or don't let people speak about God or say what they heard from God to you. If you are not heard it yourself, if you are not convinced, I beg you, no, don't do it. Don't stay. And this is not even just about relationship. It could be anything. It could be anything. If you have not heard God for yourself, and some other people are telling you that this is what God is saying, this is what God is saying. If you have, please, as long as you normally hear from God yourself, then go back to God and hear from God yourself. Hear from God yourself. God will not just say that He's not telling you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Except if you've not been hearing from God. What am I saying for God? Except if you've not been hearing from God yourself. And basically, I've heard this, and I like saying it too. Relationship should not be the first time you want to hear from God. So you've not been hearing from God before, but now that it's time to go into a relationship, you now want to hear from God. I'm laughing because I know I'm laughing. So you don't have to hear from God. What Jones? because basically it is the same way God has been speaking to you before, that He will speak to you even in that moment. And how does God speak to you? I posted something on my status recently. Actually, it was from a story of I'm rushing. It was from an IG story. Actually, I saw it on my friend's WhatsApp status and then I reposted it. And someone asked, how do I know God is speaking, or how do I hear from God, or how does the voice of God sound? Like, I'll actually put it on the screen, and he said it is like you speaking to you, really, because our spirit has become one with God's spirit. I don't want to go and start preach. But then our spirit has become one with God's spirit at the point of salvation. So basically, it is one. So it's just like it's your spirit that is speaking to you. Really, that's how it is. But yeah, so hear God for yourself. That hearing of God will be a separate video. I don't want to like include it here. I just want to take the whole. It will be a separate video, and I already know the person I'm going to bring to come on. Anyhow, so hear God for yourself. Have a personal relationship with God. Don't let somebody be the one telling you that I heard God and God told me, and if God has told me, then He has told me for the 12. What is your own personal relationship with God yourself? Because see, there are cases where 4 people come and meet you and say God said. So what are you going to do about it? So next thing that I want to say is, because in the story I mentioned something like, okay, after the relationship started, a lot of things started to happen, like it wasn't smooth. So I now want to say, because somebody might be asking out there that, so does it mean that if God brings 2 people together, there will be no igihaga and stuff like that? It doesn't mean. Relationships, depending on the 2 parties, things can happen actually. That God brought 2 people together does not mean they cannot break up. I just want to say that, because some people might be like, does it mean that God has brought that God brought 2 people together does not mean a breakup cannot happen. What human beings, some character flaws you might just be like, nah, I can't do this. I know God has said, but man, you need to work on yourself. You get stuff like that. So I also need to make that clear, that God has said does not mean 2 people cannot break up, or does not mean there won't be issues come up, that issues will not come up. It's left to you guys to sort it out, to just be mature and then work on it. Also, I want to say something about these character flaws that I mentioned. When God tells you, or you feel led to a particular person, maybe both of you feel led to each other on part of relationship, when you notice that this person has character flaw, I beg, that God said does not mean that it will cover your character flaw. If this person has character flaw, I beg, tell the person, guy, before you even go into a relationship, guy or lady, see, you get character flaws, and or this is what I've noticed, or these are the things I've noticed, and I don't think I want to go into a relationship until you have worked on those things. My brother, that God said does not mean you should go into the relationship immediately. Now, my sister, that God said does not mean you should go into the relationship immediately. If there are character flaws or there are things that need to be worked on, please work on it before you go into the relationship. I know that when you guys come together, there might still be some other things to work on, but there are some major things that God, I beg, work on it. If it's like does not know how to talk, I beg, work on it. Or if it's that just work on your character. So lastly, what I'll say is, I want to talk about friendship, just a little bit about friendship. All of this is still in the same topic. So that God has led you to a particular person does not mean you guys should go into a relationship without being friends. Because I've heard of some people that maybe they were not friends before the relationship. It will work out well, it might work out well, and it might not. But basically, I'm of the opinion that we should be friends. Like, when I mean friends, we should be close friends before we go into a relationship. I should be able to like talk to you about several things. I shouldn't be in a relationship with somebody that I cannot even talk to, somebody that I cannot share some things with, that maybe the person will be judging me or something. No, I should be in a relationship with my friend, someone who is my friend. Yes, you're a minister. Yes, you're a pastor. Why are you my friend? See, me, I'm of the opinion. Some people might not be of that same opinion, but I am of the opinion that before we go into a relationship, we should be friends. So yes, God has led me to you. Yes, God has said something. Yes, I like you, but then are we friends? Lastly, what I will say is, God, yes, there are people that have heard God. There are some people that were led into a relationship like this. We're sleeping, and then God is just like, if your boo is, or the man for you is, which name of somebody that is not close to me, if I mention one name now and they'll say, are you eyeing this person? If your boo is, or your husband is, or the man for you is, give me name. Do I know? Dem Lade. I don't think I know. And I was just like, oh, thank you, Father. And just go, Dem Lade, my husband. It's not everybody that gets later. Some of us, we like the person first. They will not go meet God. God, my Father, that day I've come to you. See, be like say I like this guy. Oh, be like say I like him. Should I? Is he a go, or is he a no? Is he a no, or is he a yes? Sometimes you just have peace about a particular situation or about the person. See, there are different ways. That's why I always say, how does God speak to you? It basically boils down to that. How does God speak to you? There are people that we hear before. There are people that we like before. Do you get? There are people that we led to. There are people that you just be friends and then it's just going. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to basically talk about, because I just have heard of people, and then I've not been in the situation of God said me, I did not yet, but then I've been in the situation of going into a relationship without being convinced. Actually, I've been in that situation. I'm already giving you guys hints. If you watch the end, that's when you know. I've been in the situation of not being convinced, but going into the relationship like that. So basically, I know that there are a lot of stories out there like that, but my advice to you is get convinced. Before you go into any relationship, get convinced, number one. Number two, if you have a character flaw, or your prospective partner has a character flaw that you know you cannot cope with, please tell the person, this is something I cannot cope with. I think you should work on it before we decide to become partners. Number three, please be friends. Friendship is very important in any relationship. If you are not friends, till last those jingle bells in the tummy, you go wear out, and the friendship is just be friends. So basically, those are the three things. Those are the three things that I basically wanted to say here. Know God for yourself, hear God for yourself, personally be convinced. Number two, character flaws. Number three, friendship. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you have something to say about it, or if you have a question, or if you have an opinion, the comment section is for you. And please share with your friends. Thank you very much for watching. I love you guys. Bye.